process of data management is usually done through Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, and the import process is much the same. We're going to need several elements, as I said in the introduction. We're going to need the database, which I've created for us here. The tables have to be in place before we can import the data, and we have to be really clear that we understand what the structure of each of those tables is, because the data that we import from our text files must match this structure precisely. So that's what we have to do. Now let's look at our folder structure. I've got it set up here, and this is what you have to do. You have to have a named folder on your C drive called EA Files, and in that folder you should have these text files. Now these text files have a specific name. You mustn't change it, because when we come to run the script that's going to import the data, it looks for that folder and precisely these named files in order to import the data. Let's open one of them just to see what's in one of them, because it's a kind of an example for you, and you'll see what it looks like. So I'm going to open with Notepad. It's just a text file. ID, abbreviation, and name. So there you go. So that's what we've got there. Now if we look at, this is company type, at the company type table, look at the columns, ID, short, and name. So that's really good as a demonstration of the matching of the fields in the text file to the structure of the table on the database running through the Management Studio. So there we are. Right, so what we have to do is we have to have a place to make this query run. So we take our database, select it with our left mouse button, right click, new query. Now I will have supplied you with the script that has to be run in order to import the data. And it looks like this. Here's the script. It has several sets of instructions, and if I just talk them through for you how it works. That's a comment in SQL Server queries, dash dash, and then whatever you want to put in as a comment. Here's the first instruction, bulk. It's telling the server that this may have more than one operation, that you're going to go round in a loop until the operation is complete. Next command, insert property stock type. The word here, property stock type, is the target table that will receive the data from the text file. From, here's the name of the text file where the data for this table will be found. Notice the folder structure and the precise naming of the file. Then here's a loop with this data that you found in this file, which is going into this table. You will see that the field terminator for each record is a comma. The items of data which go into each separate field is separated by a column. And at the end of each record, a new line is started to indicate that they should go to the next record. You then give the SQL Server the command, go. It will now carry out the operation from above. And then you just repeat it again with all of the tables of data that we want to import. So let's just do it. So I'm going to do Control A, Control C. I'm going to go to my SQL Server Management Studio. I've already got my query there. Control V. And my commands are pasted into the editor window and execute. It gives you a report back of what it's done. And it says 2 rows affected, 5 rows affected, and so forth. But let's look at the real data. We can make sure that the data has been imported by going to one of these tables, for example that one, right-clicking it, select top 1,000 rows, and it shows the first of the rows, first 1,000 rows of records in that table. Do another one. I don't think there's anything in that one. And there's some data. So we've got that data successfully imported into our SQL Server database through SQL Server Management Studio from a text file. One of the most important things to note is, I think I said this in my video, is that these files that we're working with are teeny. They're really quite small, aren't they? There's very little in them. And we can look at these as an example of how a larger process would be completed. If I do this open again, open with Notepad, 2 records. This could just as easily be 2,000 or 200,000 records. A text file is small, and all that would happen is that it would take longer. The operation would take longer to complete, but the process would remain precisely the same.